Hi, it's George, and today I'm with one of my clients, Dr. Amina. She actually is an MD as well as a PhD, so double doctor, I guess. and so great to be with you and Mina. And you're going to be sharing a framework on that's a science-based, mindfulness-based framework um, on transformation. But before we get there, I wanted to have you share a few of the business lessons that you've learned in building your coaching business. And just to make sure that everybody has some context of who you are, I'll read your bio. But first, hello. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Hi, George. Hi, everyone.
So let me just read out your bio. So Amina helps doctors, experts, and leaders transform their careers and lives to have more meaning and joy. She's an MD, PhD with extensive professional experience and a passion for science, social justice, and spirituality since childhood. You can learn more about Amina and work with her, how to work with her at doctoramina.com. That's DOCDOR, Amina, AMINA.com. So great to have you with us, Amina. And you have been, full-time as a coach, transformational coach, life and career coach for a little while now. And you've learned some things along the way. So maybe you can share a few quick lessons before we go into your framework.
Yeah, thanks, George. It's such a privilege to be able to share what we learn. And so 2 tips based on my journey, trying to find my way in the fog, is something I learned actually even before becoming a solopreneur, which is to, when you get scared, to not panic, easier said than done, and to refocus on your purpose and your mission and your service. Essentially translating into keep doing your work, keep giving, keep being of service and doing your work. And it's really helped me to stay focused and not get distracted in shiny objects, or get sucked into, people offering short-term quick solutions that are not realistic, but they seem good when you're lost and panicking and in the fog. It doesn't mean I haven't been a fallen victim to some of those things, but no disasters so far, touch wood. I've always been able to fall back on my feet. And I think it's kind of a applied mindfulness to stay focused and keep being of service and giving and trusting that you have things to give.
That's great. Yeah, I absolutely. It's the short-term solutions, or make 6 figures in 2 days. Maybe not 2 days, but even make 6 figures in 6 months is a stretch for some people, for many entrepreneurs. But yeah, if you, like you said, this is to build an authentic and real business with a real audience that actually cares about you and you care about them is a long-term journey. And it takes, like you said, mindfulness, refocusing on purpose, and people can sense it. People can sense when we are really caring. And it's hard to sense, though, if marketers are really caring about us, or if they're really just, we're in a funnel, So thank you for mentioning that. Come back, refocus, and your other tip, in the conversation before, is to find good coaching support. So tell us about that. What does that mean?
Yes. Yeah. So, and again, going with the first one, leading into the second one, that the solopreneur or business building journey is a marathon, not a sprint. So there's no point trying to race ahead, because it puts you at risk of burning out, and you need the long haul for your creativity to really flourish. So the second one would be find a good coach, good coaches, and good community if you can, who are going to nurture you and support you on that journey, just like an athlete. Right? An athlete got their skills, their talents, their physical gifts, and a coach helps them hone it, helps them with the mindset as well. So having someone who's in your corner, who's been there before, who's got lots of experience, and who's willing to be a sounding board, not give you instructions, but allow you to find your own way and help you build that kind of trust in yourself, is really invaluable. And I don't think I could have done it without having a great coach. And I want to express my gratitude for the help you've given me at this point.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. So I'd love for you to share your framework, the transformation framework based on mindfulness and science. And I like that it's 6 R's. And, so I'd love for you to share that.
Right. So the 6 R's, yes, it's based on lots of different sources of evidence and knowledge. It combines some ancient wisdom, but also the latest science. And also the kind of our understanding of creativity and how we come up with good ideas, but not just have the good ideas, also implement them. Because reconnecting with your creativity is great, but then you have the problem of which idea, which one do I go with now? And what I found is that you have to show leadership and self-responsibility and self-trust and pick one, knowing that it's going to be a cycle and you're going to come back. It's an iterative process, like learning. It's just that if you're an employee, your boss tells you what to do. Or maybe you've got some initiative and you pick something, but essentially your boss has got the final say. Whereas when you're an entrepreneur or you're building your own business, you are the boss. So you have to decide. And you have to take the responsibility, and that can be quite scary. So this cycle kind of helps people see the steps of it and identify where they might be, so they don't get stuck there. And they also see the end of the tunnel if they're feeling stuck. So the first R would be relax. And that's kind of based on the idea that you have to have some space in your calendar, but also in your head and in your heart to be able to create or go on a new journey. You have to reduce your cognitive kind of load so you can create from afresh. The second one is to reflect. So that's where you start to create that headspace. So the first one, relax, is just sort of basic stuff in your calendar. Take out stuff that drains you, and leave some blank space. If not, put self-care in. Then the second one, reflect, is the headspace where you start asking powerful questions. So rather than saying, oh, why can't I ever work anything out, which is like a victimized question, you ask, what can I do today that would help me go forward on a particular project? Then we get into releasing, because at some point you're going to face a block. To expand as human beings, right? We always have to let go of something, some old habits, some old thinking pattern that is limiting. And that's going to be emotional, and it's important to be prepared for the emotional journey, the emotional release. So that's that particular step, and I really love that step because it's neglected in normal sort of professional training. We don't do emotions, so the release one is one of my favorite steps that I help people with. Then we've got the reconnecting, I believe, if I'm...
Reconnecting.
Yeah, reconnecting. So once you've got that space, you can start to reconnect much more deeply with what you care about, your values. You might suddenly articulate a deeper mission that really feels good and really feels right. And from there, you've got endless motivation, endless energy, because it comes from within. Then it's respond. That's the one most people focus on. We like to know what to do. So when people come to me, they're like, what should I do? I want to change career. I want to, improve my team dynamics or something. What do I do? But that's just one of the 6 steps, which is responding with skill. So taking action with some skill. And you can put a plan together. You can have a strategy together, but don't spend too much time on it. Start taking action once you've clarified you've gone through the first few steps. And then finally, it's receive. Again, this is a neglected step. People don't take time for the results to come, for the conditions to come together, for the results to materialize. So they're impatient, and I put myself in that category. We don't acknowledge when things happen necessarily. We don't acknowledge our own role. We don't celebrate the journey and any fruit that came from it. And trying and going on the journey is fruit in and of its own, because we have learned from that journey. And then once we've done that, the cycle starts again.
Wow, that's great. And can you give an example?
It's easy.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I could see this being something that's kind of a larger thing, a larger process people do more generally in their life, but it can also be applicable to like a project or something like that. Do you want to share any example either from your own work, your own life, or somebody else's that you helped that kind of, or any kind of examples about these particular R's or the whole thing if you want?
Yeah, that's I could give examples from me or from my
Sure.
life,
Yeah.
because these patterns reproduce themselves on a moment to moment basis or on a life over a whole life. So for example, when I switched career, there was a moment where my ex-boss sent me a consulting opportunity with the United Nations, but I was moving away from that. And so I did kind of a bit, I'd done some relaxing already. So I had some space, I'd done some reflecting, and I thought I want to go ahead and do coaching now. But then comes this opportunity that's kind of from my old world. And I was a bit stuck. So it was time for release. And what happened is that I kind of made a decision, because it was like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? Should I do it? But okay, let's just do it. I tried to respond with skill. So I started applying, and as I did it, I just felt so much sadness and grief come up, going through my whole career, because I had to fill in everything from my past career. And that was a huge release for me. And what it told me was that, okay, that was that. And now I'm moving into something new. It gave me that clarity. And from there, I was able to really kind of focus on the coaching and know that that's really what I wanted to do. And maybe I could do some other things, but that wasn't the main thing. So the dilemma had gone. I was able to respond now and focus on the business, and the business started working.
Wow. Yeah, that's a great example. So I can imagine this is happening with people. Yeah, a lot of people going through the career transition. It's like, okay, I don't want to keep doing what I was doing. But yes, so that's why the release is so powerful. Just, okay, I don't have to keep doing what I was doing. I can release that to make room for something more authentic now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
So,
that was more aligned with my current mission and values.
yeah, that's great. That's awesome. And this is something that you work with clients on, this kind of hand holding them through the 6 R's.
Yeah. So the more typical ones, I guess, are the ones who are transitioning from one career to another. And maybe it's been going on for a while, so they haven't been able to relax, reflect, and release. And they're just on a kind of scrambling. They're trying to do two things at the same time. They're trying to keep doing their job and do it well as if they were still on that career trajectory. And they're also trying to figure out the new thing. And maybe it's a new job, a new career, maybe it's a business. And they're trying to, as you can imagine, it's quite tiring and not very effective. So there are a few, 2 or 3 clients in the last, over the summer and autumn, who have gone through that journey of saying, okay, I'm going to, first of all, they have to relax. We always do that first. Do some self-care. Try and find that point of balance where you can think clearly and treat yourself well, and bring your prefrontal cortex back online. You're not functioning from your amygdala going, so we do that first, and then eventually there's all right, so what are you going to commit to? Are you going to commit to keep going, or are you going to commit to resigning? Sometimes opportunities come their way, right? And people say, right, so we need you to work on this project for the next year, or we need you to do this, or go to this country and work there. And they have to make a decision. So that's where there's a bit of release, or a big release coming in, and a commitment to action, to a particular course of action. And then they start to see that, oh, it's not that scary. I let go of all these things, and it's not that bad. Actually, my boss wants me to stay more. Now they want to give me a promotion. Now they want to give me more money. Now they want to give me all the things that I couldn't get, that I was really hoping for. And then they're like, but I don't want that anymore, because I actually know that I want the other thing. So it's really wonderful to see them go on this journey. And then it's another cycle. And it's like, well, all right.
Yeah.
What does it look like if you go on this new journey?
It's like a spiral, upward, or you could say spiral inward or spiral upward, but it's I like to think of spiral, like spiraling up to heaven or something. Like it's like that cycle, but it seems like you come back around but then
Yeah.
each time you come back around, you're wiser, or you're more experienced, you're
Exactly.
hopefully clearer and more powerful. That's
Yeah.
great. I like that example, and this kind of work that you're doing with clients. So that's awesome. So if people want to work with you, you offer an exploratory session, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody from your community is welcome to have a complimentary exploratory conversation to see where they are, kind of assess where they are, and what they want to achieve and whether I can help them.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
great.
ask any questions about how the coaching works, and what it would look like.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Thank you for that. And you also have, well, one of the things that you do regularly is called Wise Wednesdays. So that's your kind of your blog, and you kind of put a lot of thought into that. In fact, it's going to become a book at some point soon.
Yeah, thanks to you.
Yeah, so that's great. Wise Wednesdays, be sure to check it out. It's on dramina.com, doctorAmina.com. And yeah, so Amina, anything else as we wrap up?
No, I just want to thank you again for all the help you've given me to grow my business and be more confident, be confident in being authentic.
Mm.
Yeah, really helpful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So glad. All right, thanks. So everyone watching, if you resonate with Amina, go ahead and check out her site, doctoramina.com, doctoramina.com. And she also has a Facebook page where she's active, and I'll post a link, of course. And check out her Wise Wednesdays, which is her weekly writing.
My insight letter. It's not a newsletter. It's an insight
letter. I like that. Yeah, cool. All right. Okay. See you, everyone. Thanks, Amina, for doing this.
Bye, everyone. See you soon.